Yo, so let me tell you exactly why you should never invest in Baltimore City. If you do not live in Baltimore City, you do not plan to come to Baltimore City, or if you've never been to Baltimore City. Now you got all this stuff on the internet going around, buy a house for $1, get cheap homes, and all of that stuff, right? But I'm going to show you exactly why you should just stay away if you can't actually be in Baltimore City in the present. So this is a project of somebody that I know that has going on right now, right? So if you look, these appliances were brought here 30 days ago, okay? And the contractor has not installed these appliances at all. Like they still got the stuff on them. The refrigerator's not hooked up. The stove isn't hooked up, dishwasher. So this stuff been sitting here for 30 days and none of this stuff has been installed, right? You know, even the small stuff right here, right? Like this hasn't been fixed. And you know, stuff like this, right? Like this. So these are things that most people look at it as maybe small, right? But because the investor of this property doesn't live here, right? He lives in another state. He's depending on a contractor to be here to do this work. That's mistake number one in Baltimore City. These contractors will get over you. It's a part of the game. All of the contractors that work here know this, okay? They know if you don't live here, you're not gonna be here. They can take your money and go do somebody else's project that is gonna be here, right? So rule number one, if you're somebody that wants to invest in Baltimore City, you have to be in the physical. You have to be there every day, 8 a.m. You gotta be there to make sure that the contractors are actually working. Because if they're not working, because if you're not here, they're not working. They're not gonna do it. So that's mistake number one. And I know you live in Texas, you live in California, you live in these other states, and you hear you can get a house for $1, or you can get, a house for $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, and it sounds good, but it's too good to be true. And people that, aren't or have never been to Baltimore, don't live in Baltimore, it sounds good, but people that actually live in Baltimore City, know about this stuff. That's why when they hear it, they're like, yeah, right. Good luck with that, right? Here's the other thing. Let me show you the reason, right? It's the reason why some of these homes are $1 or $1,000. What's wrong with this picture? Tell me what's wrong with this picture. This is an alley. There's no parking, right? This home is in an alley, right? So like these that have garages, the front of the house is on the other side on the main street. But then you have some homes like this one right here that's boarded up, where the actual house is in the alley. So there's no parking behind it, none of that, right? Again, it's cheap for a reason, okay? So there's two things working against this particular investor. Number one, the contractor, it doesn't show up on time, doesn't show up at all, really, because the investor lives in a different state. So number one, he's getting dicked over. This thing is in an alley. So I'm not saying that it's gonna be hard to sell. Somebody that is like a minimalist, somebody that, rides a bike may buy it, but you have to know what you're investing in before you invest in it. Otherwise, you're gonna end up in a bad situation. Not saying that it's a bad situation, but it's not the best. But the reason why, this particular investor is here is because it was cheap, right? You get online, you see these things online on the auction, you see these websites, or these programs, the homes can sell for $1 and all that. Yeah, it sounds good, right? But this is the reality of it. It's not like it's one of these homes where, you're on the main street, right? But this particular home is in the alley. In Baltimore, he's definitely not from the state. He already told me he's not from the state. But he's been trying to get this contractor to finish this work for like 4 or 5 months. So I had to show him what to do to get the contractor in order. And he did what I said to do. The contractor came and did a little bit of work, and he split again. All because, he knows, like, you're not gonna come and look and watch after me and pay attention to what I'm doing. So all of this Baltimore stuff that people be talking about, you gotta be careful. And if you can't physically yourself manage these projects, stay away from it. Do yourself a favor, because it's not worth it. You're gonna end up losing more money and having more headache in the end. Then and you're not going to see no profit, because the contractors are going to milk you to death. They're going to milk all the money out you, and then the city's going to get behind them, and then they're going to milk some money out of you, because they're going to find out that the property is vacant, They're going to drive by, see a bottle sitting in front of the house, some trash, write you a ticket. You know, if there's a board on one of the windows, or somebody breaks in, they're going to write you a ticket. You know, things like that. So you got to kind of like, you know what you're doing. So this is just a physical representation of actually showing you why you should not invest in Baltimore City if you do not live in the city, or if you are not from the city, or if you don't know how Baltimore City operates, especially how like the homes on this particular street that I'm on right now. These homes right here could be selling for $400,000 or $500,000, and the house where I just came from in that alley, those homes could be selling for $20,000. Okay, that's how Baltimore works. It's not by zip code. It's by literally by blocks, by street. So one block can be 500, and the next block could be 20. So if you don't have, these understandings, don't waste your time, and that's just real.